What is going on, guys? It's your man Jay, and this is the ZTE Axon 10 Pro. Now, ZTE decided to grace us with this beautiful device here in August of 2019. It is officially available, and I wanted to give you another video. I've done a 7-day review on this thing, and I've done the unboxing, I've done the camera reviews, I've done a battery test for you, I've put it up against other devices, but in reality, this phone is packing a lot for the price. Price is always important on today's market because getting a flagship device, quote unquote flagship device, for under $600 is a rare find. Now, if you're in the US, this is probably the lowest price officially released device in the US, I believe. It even costs less than the lowest version of the OnePlus 7 Pro. So, and I'm not talking about sales or anything like that. I'm talking about just official, this is the price. No discounts, here it is. This starts at $550 for 8 gig, 256 gig model, and $599 for a 12 gig model. So this is in fact a really beautiful device. Now ZTE did something different this time. They went with stock Android, and I think that's really important to a lot of people. This device, some of you guys have asked me about, are they going to do consistent updates? I checked. And the device, I've said it before, this device should get Android 10 by the end of the year. Now, you say, oh my gosh, by the end of the year, how many other phones have Android 10 right now besides the Pixel devices? Yeah, so this phone is no different. There's tons of phones that are getting released right now and still don't have Android 10 at the release. So this phone is a stock Android device with Android Pie. It's got a Snapdragon 855 inside, a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, 48 megapixel shooter on the rear, and it's just an all-around powerhouse of a device. And I'm surprised that ZTE has not ran out of stock yet. Like, seriously, I'm surprised that they're not out of inventory, because I'm always mind blown when something comes to the market and it's this good, and then people kind of skip over it for whatever reason. I don't know. A lot of times people have a phone already. I understand that, because a lot of comments that I've been getting on my previous videos of this device is, man, if I didn't have a phone, or man, if it would have come out at this time, I would have gotten it. And that's okay. I respect that. I understand that. But reality is, if you're in the market for a new flagship device, I'm going to tell you, and I've already done a 7-day review, and I've told you where this phone kind of lacks. But when I say a phone lacks in an area, I beat up that part of the phone. So 4K recording, if you notice lately, a lot of my videos have been in 4K at 60 frames per second. And that's thanks to the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, which I'm recording with. Here is my DSLR. I decided to just give it a rest. I mean, I've got a nice device that I can shoot from, edit on, and send it right to YouTube. And that is what I like doing. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to ditch a DSLR because, I don't think I have a device that's ready to do that. The closest one for photos are the Pixels. These are the phones, the Pixels are the phones that I can take just the best photos with. And I'm not saying this DSLR quality. And then the Galaxy Note 10 and the LG G8, those are my phones for video. So where does this phone stand? This phone stands kind of closer to the top end side, because this phone is beautiful in design, nice and thin, has really good cameras. It's got stock Android, which you guys know I love. It's a blazing fast phone. It's got all the internals that a person could possibly want. So why are you not buying this? Check 1, you already have a phone, you just don't need it. Check 2, you don't trust the brand. Check 3, you're still worried about a ban that happened with this company. What is your reasoning? If you're in the market for a new device, this phone is definitely one that I will recommend to you. Now, while it couldn't beat up on the G8 like I thought it would, in my personal opinion, I still said, I think the G8 for me is a phone I would recommend if a person had a little bit more money. But if you don't have a little bit more money, I can't recommend any other flagships really for a person that's trying to save and get a lot. I mean, I could recommend all these phones that I have. This is a great phone. This is a great phone, and I have a ton of phones laying around. But reality is, they're doing something that a lot of OEMs can't do, which is give you a low price and a whole bunch of features. Now, yeah, it doesn't have a headphone jack, but it's still got that nice DAC inside. It's got stereo speakers. It's got pretty much everything you could possibly want. I mean, now when I said the cameras lack in some areas, That doesn't mean that the cameras are bad. This footage that I can shoot with this thing is just beautiful. I'm going to put these photos up in this video. I mean, just freaking gorgeous. Those photos come out great. But I focus more on video on my channel when I do phones reviews. If you notice, I focus a lot on video and I shoot video of areas. And this phone has great video cameras. However, the 4K, I've started to do more 4K. And I have a DSLR that shoots in 4K, but I like 4K at 60, and my DSLR cannot do that. And if this phone could shoot 4K at 60, I would be extremely happy. I would love to test it out and put it against other phones that shoot 4K and 60. But it does 4K and 30, and it also does 1080p and 60. So it's not that the camera is not good just for that reason. It just, the 4K footage isn't up to my standards. Now, outside of that, 4K is overkill for YouTube. Most people don't even watch in 4K. If you're on the go driving, you can't even stream your videos on your network in 4K unless you have 5G network or you're standing right under a tower with your 4G service. So with that, I say this. I wanted to make this video right here in particular because this device deserves the attention. I mean, they came back, ZTE, they came back and they threw it all in. They said, we're going to throw it in. We're going to keep our fighter in the ring and we're going to just give it to you. We're going to make him work all the way into the end. So this isn't so much a sales pitch. I'm just trying to tell you that this phone is totally worth $599 for when you compare it next to other phones that offer such. I mean, the OnePlus has the fastest in-screen fingerprint reader for sure. But is the ZTE lagging behind? Probably not. You see what I'm saying? I mean, the OnePlus is nice and everything, but the ZTE is not far behind. The Axon 10 is not far behind. You see that? I mean, look at this. These phones, if you didn't know any better, if I put this wallpaper on this phone, it's going to probably look fantastic. And vice versa. You know? But I feel like when it comes to devices, some companies just don't get the love they should get. And that's just a part of the game, man. I mean, look at that beautiful animated wallpaper. That's crazy. That's just stupendous. And here's a wallpaper that's kind of punchy. Here's another one. This screen is absolutely beautiful, folks. It rivals all the screens out there that offer punchy displays. Look at how beautiful that is. Now, some of you guys, oh, the cutout at the top. You know what? I respect it if you don't like this right here. But honestly, if I could deal with it on the Note and every other phone I have that has that little cutout at the top, it's not even a thing. A lot of people like the OnePlus 7 Pro because it does not have that cutout. But I can tell you, like I said before, when I reviewed these two next to each other, I wouldn't tell you to buy the OnePlus 7 Pro over this. And that's not to say the OnePlus 7 Pro is a bad phone. It's just that this is a little bit more affordable, by like $150 or so, and it's totally worth it. This is ZTE Axon 10 Pro. They didn't tell me to make this video, but I wanted to put it out there to you because I really enjoy this phone, man. It's beast mode. It's your man Jay. If you haven't already done so, check this phone out if you feel like you need to get a new flagship. I mean, you get a wide angle, a telephoto, an ultra wide angle, a 20 megapixel on the front. You get HDR on both. I mean, it's Dolby Atmos, stereo sound. What else can I tell you? It's your man Jay. Take care.